What up, College Hoops, Coast to Coast? On East Coast today, got my man Charles Thomas, the Hall of Famer, recently inducted, multiple-time Hall of Famer at that, representing Duquesne. They got a big win conference-wise this past weekend. I will take the first one. I said I was going to pass to Kevin, but let's talk about real quick. Congratulations to the Hall of Fame. You're working with your brother. You both played at Eastern Michigan, both played in the NBA. What was it like being able to get inducted into your alma mater's Hall of Fame?
Very surreal, man. I mean, you don't play for those kind of honors. You're very honored when you get them. You just want to be remembered for what you do and how hard you play and the legacy that you may have left at the university. And to get inducted to the Hall of Fame, like I said, is a very surreal feeling because you don't play that. That would happen. And then after they I mean, I guess we came in the womb together. We got to get inducted together. Now we work together. We're doing everything together, just trying to make it happen.
Well, let me start you there. I myself am a twin. What's it like working with your twin every single day?
You know what? It's actually a lot better than I thought it would be. I mean, Carl and I know each other so well that, and us being a twin, Kev, like you said, like that's when the fights start, right? That's when you bicker about little things because you want to get your point across and this and that. And honestly, that really hasn't happened. We're going on year 5 working together, and it's been really enjoyable. A lot better than I thought it was going to be. We play off each other really well. We may have only been in maybe 2 or 3 disagreements in the last 5 years of working together. So I've learned some things about him, about how he goes about his business and how he works. That was really impressive. And I think he learned some things like that about me because you always have your perceptions about what your sibling is doing in their job. And I'm just really impressed how thorough, my brother is and how diligent he is with the work. And I knew his knowledge was good because we got taught by my father, out of the womb, man. So I knew his knowledge was going to be good because I feel like mine is good. But the way he goes about his business, man, it was really good to see. Really good to see.
Do you ever get on the court and hoop against him now? The competitiveness is still there.
No. No, I'm a little bit better. I'm a little bit better shape than my brother is right now. And he's gonna watch this. He's gonna be mad about me saying that. But we don't do that. But we will get out and shoot. He's probably one of the best shooters I've ever played with or against. And we both play in the NBA, so that's saying a lot. But my brother, that was his forte. He was a phenomenal shooter. So I beat him a few times, but he still gets the best of me. That's one thing he really does. But I still love to shoot the ball, so I'll take some losses against him. It's okay.
I love it. Well, let's pivot to your team this year. You guys had a huge win this weekend against UMass, coming off a COVID pause, and the thing that really jumped out was the player, your 2 freshman guards. Talk about what they've brought to the table and what that win meant to you guys early in A-10 play.
Man, first of all, I'll go to the win. The win means everything. You always want to get started off, really successful in a successful way. And to go on the road after having pretty much 3 weeks off of not playing, to beat a tough UMass team at home, a place that Duquesne hasn't even won since 2011. Just an amazing feeling getting back on that, that charter flight heading back home. But the fact that we had our 2 freshman guards score 48 of our 78, I mean, that means look out for a lot of people, right? Because no one's expecting that. But those guys played really, really well. But, I mean, they played at some big games at their prep schools. So they're never afraid of the moment. They're just basketball players. And it doesn't matter if they're playing against seniors or juniors or freshmen or sophomores. They just go out and play. And they're really good isolation players, which towards the end, Coach Danbrock would really win a lot of sets. And at that point, we just try to find the mismatch and let those guys do their thing. And for that particular game, it worked for us, man. And that wasn't even their best. I expect, maybe not 27 from Jackie every night or 21 from Primo every night, but I expect that kind of play from them every night from both ends of the floor. And I think as freshmen, their first A-10 game, they did really well.
Yeah,
they made all their free throws too, Kevin. 9 for 9 from the free throw line for those 2. And the efficiency, Jackie was 10 for 14, just got named Rookie of the Week this week. So, I mean, just the efficiency and the work that they put in, every single day, it just paid off that first game.
I love it. The challenges of being freshmen, relying on freshmen this year. So many teams are portal heavy. They went out and they loaded up with transfers, and you guys are really relying on those two young guards to, kind of go through the growing pains. What's been the process with them of the ups and downs of their first season of college basketball?
Just pushing them every day in practice. Not accepting mistakes when they do something wrong, because we know how important getting to the next play is going to be, but they can't make those freshman mistakes right now because they play too many minutes for it. But I also think guys like Tyson Cuff, they do have that's been through college basketball already. I think that's helped them as well.
From the standpoint of Coach Dambrot, he's a guy who's just one of the most accomplished coaches and one of the biggest winners, I think, in college basketball, and now winning at a place in Duquesne that has not won, quite frankly, in the past. What's one or two things in particular that you've been able to learn from him and work for?
Just astute to detail, man. Like not letting anything slide, just being on it. And I think that's very important, especially when you have young guys. But also just being a good relationship guy, like really diving into your players, especially when you have a bunch of young players like we have right now. Just diving into them and being good and being there for them for whatever their needs are, and letting them know that we're there for them at all time. And I think if you have a great relationship off the court, it definitely transcends to the court. And that's kind of why he has almost 500 wins in his career. And I think that's kind of why he's done it. He's really with our staff, but he doesn't let anything slide. Not even with our staff members. When it comes to recruiting or coaching, like he's on everything, and he holds everybody to a high standard. And I think when you do that, it equates to success, which he's been successful his whole career.
Talk about the Atlantic 10. I mean, it's just such a balanced league. I feel like year in, year out. Every time I get the opportunity to watch it, I feel like it's a privilege with the level of coaching, the talent. Talk about coaching in that league and the challenges it presents every single day.
Man, there's some really, really, really strong coaches in this league. And I can go down through all 14 of them, including, with 14 being a guy I work for, Keith Dambrot. So I'm just saying the whole league. Great coaches. They know their stuff. I mean, Bob McKillop, I guess, is the outlier. Almost 700 wins in his career. He's been a pillar there at Davidson. But all these coaches are really good. You got to bring it every night. Even the young coaches come in the league. Like we play Florida, Macau, Neptune. They got off to a really good start. My guy over at George Mason, Kim English, they got off to a really good start. So even the newer coaches coming in this league, they know what they're doing. They have really good assistant coaches, working with them. So you got to bring your hard hat every night, just from a coaching standpoint, to try to strategize on how to beat that guy you're going against, because you think you have their tendencies, and then they throw a new wrinkle like that. I didn't know that was going to happen. And it's no secret. It's more of a guard-oriented league, and you don't have a day off at all. Like you got to bring it every night. You got to sit down and check every night. And if you don't, you're going to get blown out. So it's just the A10 is like everything I thought it would be. It's a really tough guard league. It's coached really well. It's really respected. And now that I've been here going on year 5, I understand exactly why.
Coach, talk about, you talked about you and your brother working together, obviously playing at the highest level. How does that help you guys in recruiting? And then obviously Coach Dambrot's coached, arguably the greatest player in the world right now. How does all that, your playing experience, his coaching experience, because guys want to hear about that next level, how does that factor into you guys recruiting now? And then how do you use that to put these guys under your wing and kind of explain to them the next level to help them be successful at the college level?
I mean, just that, because what you said, I mean, we've all been there. We've all done it. Anything our players get now that we have currently, I've been a Division I player. I was an all-state basketball player in high school. I went to the NBA. I played in Europe. So I played over in Australia as well as Europe. So any place these guys want to touch, I've touched it, and I try to draw on that anytime I can. And the same with Coach Dambrot. When you coach LeBron James, you use that to your advantage. You speak on that all the time, because if I can coach the best player arguably in the world at one point, whether he is right now or not, even though he's playing like it again, I'm going to coach you the same way and hold you to the same standard. So we use LeBron. We use the LeBron example a lot. Coach Danbrock loves using that a lot. But Coach has coached 4 guys that played in the NBA. LeBron, myself, my twin brother, and Grant Long, who played 15 years in the NBA. So he draws on that experience of coaching us, and he talks to guys about, and we've had numerous guys from Akron and from Duquesne that's played over in Europe. So he just draws on those experiences. Sometimes those guys will come back to watch us practice and visit, maybe not as much during this COVID era, but used to come back and visit and talk to the guys, and Coach would have them say a couple words to them. And I think that goes just to part of the relationship I was talking to Kevin about. Like, the guys come back. They may not like the way they've been coached and how hard they got coached, but they definitely, when they get overseas or in the NBA and they collecting that check, and they continue to collect that check, they understand why we pushed them so hard and why Coach Danbrock pushed them so hard. So they come back and talk to our guys. And I think it's really helpful, because it's easy for us to say it, but if the guys that went through it, that come back to the program to talk to the guys about it, I think it resonates a little more, because those guys are a little fresher with them. They just went through it. And as far as me and my brother, we just draw on all our experience from playing overseas. And like I said, all the levels we played, and every scenario that our guys have been in, honestly, like my brother and I, one of us has been through the same thing, whether it's not really playing right now, which I did as a freshman. I didn't play as much as a freshman. So we have a young guy not playing as much. I talked to him how I stuck with it, and I ended up starting for the last 3 years, and now I'm in the Hall of Fame at Eastern Michigan. So no matter what these guys are going through, we always have a story, always have a scenario, and I think it resonates with the guys. It gets them to relax, get them to get grounded, and continue to grind and work for a good goal, which is to win championships, graduate, obviously, and then try to play for some money when it's all said and done.
You're muted, B.
I didn't want to get in the way, man. I know Charles is good in isolation, so I want to make sure I'm out the way. You talked about your guards being good in isolation. You didn't say that about you, but I can say that. Talk about this year. I know it's a crazy one, kind of part 2 of last year. You guys have already kind of been through some COVID stuff. What is it like coaching this time, and how do you guys keep your guys focused during all this?
Man, you keep talking about the grind. And no matter what it is, nothing's ever easy, especially if you want to win a championship, especially if you want to win successful. So we just got to keep plugging away. I mean, if they cancel a game or postpone a game, we have extra practice time. It's just extra time to get better.
Right.
When the games do come up, you got to make sure we're focusing on what we can start and not letting the practice time go to waste. Just putting what we did in practice, make that work in the game. It's just what we did in the Fordham game, I think the last 30 minutes of the game. And just let them know, like, it's their unprecedented times. But you always have to be ready. What's the phrase? If you stay ready, you don't have to get ready, right? So, like, that's kind of what we preach to our guys, and Coach Danbrock, one thing about him, anybody that knows him, he respects work because he works. So If he works, he expects you to work. So that's what we preach to our guys all the time, man. And they don't like it all the time. Young guys, both of you guys know young guys, they don't like to hear that. And I know when you coach beat, I know your guys probably don't like to hear that. But
no.
When you're successful, though, and they kind of reach a goal that we're kind of setting forth, and they see some of that success happening, then the buy-in is even easier. And the success comes even faster. So we just keep talking about the grind. No matter what you're doing, it's going to be a grind. COVID's an issue. We may play, we may not sometimes. That's another grind you got to get through, but you got to continue to work. And we just try to instill that in our guys. Continue to work no matter what.
All right, Kevin's going to close us out. Twin to twin. I let him close out the final question.
Like we always ask for a funny story at the end. I think it's only fitting given the amount of time you've spent with your twin brother in your career, whether it's playing or coaching, that we get a good twin brother story to wrap up the show.
He not gonna like it, man. I mean, the best story for me is, and Kevin, I told you about Carl being a phenomenal shooter, and that's what he did. I mean, he's held, like, it's the G League now, but back when it was the CBA, he set a 3-point record. The next year he broke it. He had the 3-point record, of threes in a game until somebody from our high school, Desmond Ferguson, Mr. Moneyball himself, he actually broke my brother's record. So that's what he does. So the story is, we're playing one-on-one in the backyard. And
how old are you?
We're like 17, 18. Like,
okay.
Right when we got ready, right with college, maybe 19, right when we were in college at Eastern Michigan. And we weren't supposed to be playing because my mother banned us from playing one-on-one when we were 15 years old because it always turned into a fight. But we're playing, and Carl makes I make the first basket. I'm up 1-0. I like to talk, as you guys can tell. So I start chirping a little bit after basket one. Then Carl makes he makes a jumper on me. And I'm like, dang, all right, it's going to be one of those games again. And I proceed to make 10 jumpers in a row and beat him 11-1. And as I'm making a jumper, every time I'm making one, I'm like, this is what you do, and I'm beating you at your best thing that you do. You can't even stop my jump shot. I'm beating you at what you're good at. So how are you going to beat me today? And Carlos said, well, I used to beat you more one-on-ones, but he never beat me 11-1. And he never beat me on all jump shots. Like, I made 10 straight jump shots. And I was a slasher at first when I played it, turned into a shooter. So for me, it's a funny story for me. And I see you guys laughing. Carl hates that story.
So he got the quantity, you got the quality, it sounds like.
He's not listening right now. He's got the quantity for sure. I want you to edit that out, guys. I'm just kidding. But I definitely got the best in that one day. So I'll never let him forget that. You beat me maybe more, but you ain't never beat me 11-1. On all jumpers, by the way.
No doubt. No doubt. Do you play any do you do any shooting games with your players? Do you talk any trash to them?
They can't beat me. They can't beat me. And I tell them all the time, like, you work on your game. I don't even work on my game, and you still can't beat me. Like, there's an issue. I still got 10 minutes left of the game or something. Coach needed to put me in or something. I don't know. But I think it helps the guys, and it goes to, like, relationships I was talking to Kevin about. I love doing that, and Coach Danbrock didn't like me doing it at first because he wanted me to forget about being a player and concentrate on coaching. But now that he sees how the guys kind of relate to me and my brother and our staff, just from the keeping it light by shooting against them. Coach Danbrock loves it. So now anytime somebody, wants to talk, he said, well, go shoot against Charles. And then Carl always says, you're shooting against the JV. Let me know when you want the varsity. So he still rags me all the time. I got the victory on him, guys.
I love it.
Definitely. But I appreciate you. I appreciate you guys having me on. I mean, I watch all you guys, all access stuff, man, and you guys are doing great things. And I just are blessed and appreciate you guys having me on. And hopefully everybody out there watching, you guys look at Duquesne men's basketball. We're up and coming team. We got some young guys that can do some things, but we're fun to watch, and we're going to be a tough out this year. And we ain't going anywhere. We're going to be around for as long as Coach Danbrock's coaching and beyond, man. So come watch Duquesne and tune into us. You won't be disappointed.
I love it.
No doubt, CT. Well, appreciate you, man. Congrats on a great start. Keep the boys rolling, and keep giving them the lessons. Hopefully, you give them some lessons. Teach them the way a little bit. Give them a little something.
I teach them a little bit about giving everything. I may start losing, so I'm gonna give them everything I got to. But I'm gonna keep some bags in my tricks in my bag for sure.
I love it. All right, CT. Thanks, man.
All right, guys. I appreciate you guys. Keep doing good things, man.
All right, we got Charles there from Duquesne. We always let our boy Sweeney, the other twin. My wife's a twin. I don't think I knew Sweeney was a twin. I know you had siblings. I didn't know it was a twin.
Oh yeah, I got a twin. He's a year young. He's a grade younger than me. He's a senior. He's actually right now celebrating because he's the head manager for Sienna's women's basketball team. They just got their first win of the year, and man, like, it was a comeback victory. I was watching the game. And watching his celebrations on the bench was just like pure comedy. Like, unbelievable stuff. So the twin connection is special, man. I love it. And Coach Thomas did a great job. Duquesne, and I think they're a younger group. Like I said earlier, it's not a lot of teams that are this reliant on two freshman guards. And those kids, Jackie Johnson, Primo Spears, remember those names because those kids are going to be special in the Atlantic 10.
No doubt. Well, appreciate it again. We will see you guys next week. Look forward to it. To Coach Thomas and Duquesne, good luck the rest of the way, and we'll see you guys